pronouns.
Yeah, when did Hazel decide that she was no longer going to be a girl?
Hazel decided that they were non-binary when they were about 4. They had been exploring gender before that, trying on different pronouns, experimenting with different names. But they picked they, them pronouns and chose the name Hazel when they were 4
Ari,
years old.
with the greatest of respect, I have a 7-year-old daughter, right? When she was 4 years old, her main decision of the day was whether to watch Peppa Pig or Frozen. She had not a clue what about gender identity or non-binary or any of this stuff. And I put it to you that this wasn't Hazel's idea, was it? This was your idea. You decided that Hazel had gender issues that she needed to address, and you persuaded your daughter that she was no longer to be a girl, didn't you?
One Atlanta college is now reinstating a mask mandate.
Yeah, so this is Morris Brown College announcing this decision on its Instagram account Sunday evening. And take a look at this post. It says it's because of the reports of positive cases among students. All students...
Fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism. And what is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation. Well, isn't this the liberal philosophy? The conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.
How is the U.S. preparing the military?
Well, we're preparing the military by trying to deal with the climate stuff. For example, many of the bases that have flooded, many of these massive floods, they've flooded out military bases in the Midwest and the South. That has a profound impact on readiness. And so what we have to do is change the way in which we generate energy. And that's the whole of it. And the military is doing their part.
Never met before. We are a community that relies on family, on ohana, whether by blood or by friendship. But like many others, my son's home burned down. My daughter's home burned down.
Oh, God. Welcome to Wednesday. SETH WILLIAMS Show with Chris Hagan. I don't even know why we're doing this today. It's like storming outside.
It's truly the end of the world today.
You know why?
Why?
Oh, there's got to be an explanation for all this. You want an explanation? God is pissed.
Is God that pissed, really?
Yes.
I think he's laughing. I think God's just like, ha ha, look at you idiots.
I'm looking around, looking at stuff, and I'm like, what are we doing here today? Nobody's caring about it tonight. I mean, people are dealing with the end of the world outside because it's storming like hell here. The one time I have internet is when there's a storm like you can't believe outside.
Oh, now you probably jinxed it.
Yeah, it can be a bright blue sunny day and the internet goes out. It's hell raining down, and it's fine for now, anyways.
Yeah, well, I mean, for the moment we have you, so we'll just accept that you're here, man.
Well, I'm gonna screw it all up. I'm gonna just go ahead and screw it up right now before anything happens. We are going to be screwed as a country because Biden's going to get reelected for another 4 years, and in a month we're all going to be wearing masks again and be forced to take shots. We're going to be strapped down to tables and injected with toxic poisons that are going to end up killing us all anyways. I'm so tired of it. I really am. I was talking to somebody today, and they said that they would vote for anybody else. No, they would vote for Biden, no doubt, over Trump again. Why? Because I don't like Trump. Well, I mean, then you deal with this. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't want to deal with this garbage. What did Trump do that was so bad? Other than being a dick, because he may be a bad tweeter and he may not be a great person. Mm-hmm. What did he do for this country that was so bad? No. Other than Operation Warp Speed. Oh, by the way, the one thing I didn't agree with Donald Trump on.
Sure.
So what did he do that was so bad? Put up a wall to try to keep illegal people out of this country? Good thing. Instead of selling the material like Biden's doing, like a dick. I don't even know if he's selling it. I don't think he has any clue what's going on down there at the border.
Dude,
and either does the border czar, his giggling buffoon of a sidekick. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know why people would vote for this ass. Donald Trump never in a billion years would have fallen asleep at a service where they are talking about the death of hundreds of people in a fire.
Hundreds of Americans.
Yeah.
Of Americans.
Donald Trump would not have fallen asleep during something like that.
Of course not.
You know what? If Donald Trump was in office, he would have helped those people more than giving them $700 for their troubles that they were going through.
Well, Biden's a disaster. I don't think there's anybody denying. Is there anybody denying that?
They still would vote for him over Donald Trump. That's how sick and twisted the derangement syndrome is.
Well, they're stupid. Let's just call them what they are. They're stupid.
I mean, look,
I'll call them stupid. They're stupid.
I don't like Donald Trump as a person. I don't think he's a very good person at all. But you know what? He was better for this country than the ass clown that we have in office now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm so tired of it. It really is. It's disgusting to me at this point.
It is.
We're talking about injecting people now with more shots, putting on masks again. It's disgusting to me.
Well, again, the way you handle it is just don't do it. Do not comply. Don't comply. Don't comply. Somebody approaches you, tell them I'm not fucking complying. If they get in your face, punch them in the fucking mouth. I mean, don't comply.
Well, I agree with you.
That's where we're at now. You just have to not comply.
We're at a worse state than that. We really are. We're at a worse state where we got to just start doing something because this fool is going to get in office again if we're not careful here. If we're not careful, this ass is going to be in office again. And you know, I'm trying to be as respectful as I can to this buffoon that's in the office. Again, you can say Trump this, Trump that. One, you know that the charges they brought up on this guy are fraudulent and are out to just get the guy. By the timing of everything that they do, by the places that they're holding these trials, you know that it is. Mm-hmm. And nobody on the left wants to admit it, but it is.
Yeah.
And so they're going after him because he knows that they know that he can actually run this country again. And he would do a better job than the idiot that we have in office now, who can't even stay awake for a service for dead people.
No. Wasn't it last week that he was trumpeting about how the gas prices are down?
Oh, yeah.
Was that last week? I was out. I had to run out to the bank today, and I drove past the gas station. And I don't know where you are. Not too far from here. It was probably a couple pennies one way or the other. It was $3.50 here. $3.50 today for 87.
I think I paid more than that.
Yeah. So where's this gas price down? It was when Trump left office. It was what, $1.96?
Yeah, $2.
$2.
Yeah.
So $2. So it's up 75%.
And don't give me this crap about it was COVID. No, it was before COVID that he had gas prices down.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the reason that it's up now? What major thing is going on?
He sucks, and he's threatening every natural resource that we have,
yeah.
and he's going to try to implement this green agenda that is going to kill gas-powered stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a fool.
I'm glad that I'm on the back half of life. I feel bad for my kids and your kids. For me, it's like this cocksucker can do whatever he wants, and it's really not going to affect the end of my life. But man, oh man. These guys are, they're out of control, and something will happen. I refuse to believe we're such a big country of pussies that we're just going to keep taking it and keep taking it and keep taking it.
We are. That's the way it works, especially the right. The right side, they don't have any backbone at all. I don't understand at all. I don't get it.
Maybe not political, but
I mean, they talk a big game, but they're not doing anything. What are they going to do?
Yeah, they got to step up. Everybody has to step up. You got to, and it's going to start here in the next 3 weeks when they start with this fucking mask mandate nonsense again. You have to say no. You have to say no. You have to say I'm not doing it. Period. End of discussion. And if somebody approaches you in a store, you push them out the way. If they try to tell you get out of the store, you throw them to the ground. Sorry if that's not allowed to be said, but that's the way it's got to be.
Well, yeah, I mean.
You have to be tough. You can't be a pussy anymore. Yeah, well, if you're going to be a pussy, just let them arrest you and go to jail and let them dictate. Because that's what you're building the country to be an exact model of. What goes on in jail? Okay, wear this. Go here. Do that. That's what they want you to do. They want you to be enslaved. And if you're going to accept it, then just accept it.
And they're going to do it again.
They're going to try to.
I don't think Absolutely,
I don't think it's going to. I don't think that people are going to be willing.
For a couple of different reasons, I think. They're going to try this whole lockdown mask, ruin your life or control your life kind of thing once again, because what's happening? We're getting to election season. And so what they could cancel the election if they go too deep enough into this stuff. They could cancel the election and keep this idiot in office still because of these mandates and because of everything else that's going on. I think some sort of national medical emergency crap, and they could cancel this election if they think this guy's going to lose. They could do any kind of thing that they want to do anymore. We proved as Americans that we will sit back and take it and not do a damn thing about it. We will lock ourselves in our homes, put on a mask. There are still people wearing masks outside by themselves, alone in their car, or walking down a damn street.
Yeah. But you don't think, and I'm asking, I don't know. I know for me, I believed the bullshit too at first. At first I did. I was like, oh, I'm scared, something could be going on. But now I'll never believe them again. I'll never, ever, never believe them again. So I will never, ever, never comply to it again. No matter what, I will not comply.
Look, I've talked to doctors and nurses, like behind the scenes, but not on the air. I'm talking about when I went to doctor's offices, I was in the freaking hospital for a month. And you know what happened? You know what they told me? And again, here comes the banning already. I could see the YouTube disappearing as we speak. But what they told me, doctors and nurses behind closed doors, was, don't wear a mask. It doesn't do anything. Yeah. It doesn't do a damn thing. I said, because I didn't want to wear one when I was sitting there in the hospital. I just lost a leg. I'm not going to be sitting there wearing a mask all over the place. Mm-hmm. And they said, you don't have to. It doesn't do anything.
No. Dude, when I was in the hospital for COVID, and I was hospitalized for 8 days for COVID. So, I had a bad case of COVID. And I did not get the shot. And nor would I get it in the aftermath of it. I did not get the shot. But I asked the nurses, obviously you're scared. You don't know if you're going to die. They're asking me in one breath to put in the ventilator and all that nonsense. I was close. I was pretty close to dropping off the planet when I had the COVID. But I asked the nurses, and it was about 60-40 against getting the shot. And these are the people that are treating COVID. They were treating me. And they were saying, yeah, don't fall for this bullshit. Don't get the shot. That was the people treating me telling me that. So if they're telling me not to get the shot, who am I going to believe? Some cocksucker on the news? Fuck no. I'm not going to do it.
Now look, I certainly don't want to get sick and die.
Of course not.
No doubt about it. But you can get sick and die of a lot of different things. You can go outside tonight and get hit by a bus. I was talking to somebody, look, if you eat that burger, you can get salmonella. Well, okay, well then what am I supposed to do? Not eat burgers ever again? So what am I supposed to do? Sometimes you go outside, you're going to get sick, and it sucks. And hopefully you don't die from it. And I hope to dear God that I don't get it and die.
Yeah.
But I'm not willing to take I realize I know more people that have gotten sick after getting the vaccine than I do without the vaccine. I know people that have gotten sick. I know people that have died after getting the damn shot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they won't tell you that it was a shot. They'll never come out and say, oh, it was a shot, because then, God forbid, if you actually give the truth about it, then what happens? But I know people that have died after getting it. I know people that have gotten sick after getting the shot. I know people that have had heart problems since getting the shot.
Yeah.
But you'll never hear about it. And we'll get banned. It'll say misinformation. It'll say misinformation all over every freaking place we put this show.
Fine. Then we're misinforming.
But it's not misinformation because I know it. I experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it.
Yeah. But it's misinformation to YouTube's agenda is what it is.
YouTube and Spotify and everywhere else that we put this show, there'll be either a banning of it or it'll be labeled as misinformation.
Won't be on Rumble.
Shit. They put a damn... They banned accounts for a flat earth discussion.
Yeah.
God knows they're going to do this.
Yeah. That's why I never care about YouTube. If they cancel the YouTube channel, fuck them. I don't care. I just don't care. YouTube stinks. So that's just the way that is. But, yeah, I mean, dude, it's nonsense. They can play it any way they want to play it. It's nonsense. And people need to stand up. This time, when they try to fake this horse shit at us again, you got to just say no. Not going to do it. Period. End of discussion. Not going to do it.
But they're starting to already. There are schools that are already starting to do it, and they're starting to mask kids up. They're starting to mask college kids up because they're preparing for what is coming. What is coming? Now, all of a sudden, they have a booster shot out for a variant that I've never even heard of. Yeah. There's a variant out that all of a sudden there's a magical booster. The last one didn't work for any damn virus that's been out there for 2 years now. But now this magical booster you're supposed to take is going to be good for this brand new variant that's out.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. If you're if you're that stupid to believe it, then you're an idiot.
And then
it's that simple.
Then they say, oh, well, it'll lessen the symptoms. How do you know it lessens the symptoms? You don't know if it lessens the symptoms or it doesn't lessen the symptoms. I have a president that came out and said, quote, if you get the vaccine, you will not get COVID. You will not spread COVID.
Yeah.
That's what he said. And you know what happened? People got the shots. They still got COVID, and they still spread COVID.
And
hate to tell you.
And
there's people that are getting sick from it.
And a good portion are now having heart disease and dying. At 22, at 25, at 31, at 18. I'm not convinced at all that first round of shots did anything but mess up people's hearts with certain deficiencies in their systems. I'm not convinced. They tend to not they tend to not mainstream it, but I get it from all over the place. This glut of people that died that are in their 20s now from heart problems.
But it didn't happen before.
Dude, we used to beat our bodies to death when we were in our 20s with cocaine, with alcohol, with weed, with bad food, whatever. We beat ourselves to death, and far worse than anything that was out there. And none of us had heart problems. Now you got premier athletes, the Bronny Jameses of the world, having a heart attack at 17 or whatever?
18, yeah.
17, 18. This kid has been trained professionally since he was about 4. I guarantee you that kid puts nothing in his system that is not on some kind of masterclass diet to be a super athlete. I guarantee he's not running around eating Snickers. Right?
Yeah. Natalie says, I know someone that got the shot, wore a mask, and has long-haul COVID. Doctor told them there's nothing they can do for them.
Yeah.
And Natalie's not exactly somebody that I would picture being a rebel against the cause of stuff. That's what happened.
Well, and that's
we had a caller today that called up the show and said, Bob Francis show, and said that his sister was a marathon runner, trained for biathlons, was at the doctor all the time.
Right.
Got the damn shot. Not even 24 hours later, they found her dead in her bed.
Jesus.
Is that I'm sure that's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I hear is, well, sometimes things don't agree with certain people. Okay, you don't see people just dropping dead all the place because of the flu shot. Right? You don't see people dropping dead all over the place because they get the measles vaccine or the mumps or whatever it is, chickenpox vaccine. It happens to be a brand new type of vaccine that they came out with that was rushed into production, and now things are happening. It's the reality of the situation. It's the truth, which will now be banned. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it just keeps happening and happening, and people, they either don't publicize it or people are afraid to acknowledge it. It's just ridiculous. People are afraid of the truth, man. They're afraid of it. They don't want to hear what me and you are doing right now. They don't want to hear it.
No, and they won't.
Well, they will if they go to Rumble or they go to Odyssey or...
Yeah, make sure you go to Rumble. My mother never had heart issues. She got Pfizer vaccine and twice got COVID
and died of heart issues. That just sucks.
I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible that people are being led that way. But, there's a part of me that says if you're led that way again, that's your fault. And I hate to be this non-caring, callous asshole that I'm about to be right here, but I'm going to be this way. If you conform and you get sick, it is now your fault. Because there's so much proof out there that it's garbage, that it's bunk, that it's bullshit. So if you go ahead and stick your arm up and say, here, shoot me again with this poison juice, then it's on you. No one else. It's on you.
Wrote a great book about how government overreacted for COVID. The book is called Pandemia. Look into that.
Sure, you can't get it in any store. You have to go to somebody's Etsy page to get it or something because you can't get it in a store.
No, you're certainly not going to get the audio version on YouTube.
No, of course not.
Sorry again, Joe. Man, Joe, sorry.
Joe's been through it, man. He's been through. Dude, when COVID hit and I got sick, right when I got sick, and I could pull it up. I actually made national news for getting sick because I'm such a freaking legend or whatever. but there was three of us in the music world that all got sick at the same time, all got COVID at the same time. It was myself, this promoter named Justin Murr, and this radio or record company owner Bill Shavis, and his wife Lori. I'm the only one still here on the ground. We all got COVID at the same time. Difference? They got shots. I did not. They died. They were in way better health than I was. Both all three of them were. You know.
Again, coincidence, right?
Yeah, just coincidence. It's just coincidence. They had different health things than I did, apparently.
Yeah, well, I mean, they had people dying or getting COVID and dying of COVID who got hit by a bus. Dude. They had a guy that was on a motorcycle accident, and they diagnosed him with COVID, and that was the official cause of death. It happened all over the place. I watched it. I covered it for how many years? 2 years.
Yeah.
It was my job to sit there and listen to every stupid press conference, whether it was Trump or whether it was Mike DeWine and Amy Acton. It was my job to sit there and listen to all of it. It was my job to do research. It was my job to do all that stuff for that show for 2 years. The only time I ever saw Triv's audience turn on him, and I mean this, was when he said that he was going to get the shot. And I was arguing with him, and I went toe-to-toe with him on that, and I never backed down from him.
Sure.
And it was the one time I ever saw his audience go, whoa. What do you mean?
Right.
And look, I have no idea whether it works or whether I know it doesn't work. I know the shot doesn't work, but look, I don't want to get sick and die. Of course, I don't want to get cancer either.
Yeah.
And there's no magic thing that's going to help me get that or help me prevent that. I don't want to die of a heart attack, but I'm going to try my best to avoid that. But eventually, it's going to happen. Something's going to happen. And if they came out with a vaccine that they showed me was working and was safe to take, then put it in me. But they're not.
Let's do the obvious. You know pretty heartily that if you were to go and run into traffic on the 480 bridge, the odds are really, really good you're going to die.
Yes.
You might live. There's a chance that you might live. But odds are really good that you would die, right?
Yep.
How is that any different than these shots? It's been proven over and over and over again that they do not do what is intended. If you do any research past the dumb idiot machines news networks, and you look around and you just look at the volume of people that have gotten sick and died that have taken this shot, you can see the proof is exactly the same as the idea that you have in your head that you would die if you run into traffic on the bridge. So why do it?
But see, this is where, this all comes back to everything I've been saying for a couple of weeks now, is that we are seriously at the point in this country of no return. Because you have one side that will fight you to the death that these things work. You have to take it or else. You put on that mask. You follow what the quote science tells you, even though that Dr. Fauci has been proven out to be not only a liar, but a very evil person.
Yeah.
But so he's been proven to be a liar. And yet people will follow him to no end, and the left will support him and everybody. And if you have a differing opinion, then you're hurting everybody. You're hurting the families. You're hurting you're another ist, a racist, a homophobe, whatever they want to call you. You're another name call, that whatever they want to say. We are so divided now. I don't think you can make a return. And now they're doing it again. They're going to divide everybody again with this mask stuff and these shots again. And these lockdowns. They're going to do it all over again.
They're going to
try. They're going to have half the country really, really pissed, and the other half is going to be pissed at the other. I don't know what you do. What are all the Republican candidates saying about the masking up again and the new shots? That'll tell you what they need to know. Watch the debate tonight.
Yeah.
The debate is tonight. I almost said some other kind of bait. That was bad. That's my litter tonight. Because I don't feel like watching the debate.
That's the more fun bait tonight.
Yeah. God knows what I'm going to be watching later.
You'll be watching X and not Twitter.
Not Twitter. Yeah, the debate is tonight. I'm kind of interested to see how many people are just going to sit and take shots at Trump. He's not going to be on stage. So he's not there to defend himself.
Is Vivek going to be there? Vivek
is going to be there.
Okay.
He'll be center stage with Ron DeSantis.
Okay.
And then the others will be flanking. Chris Christie will probably mention Donald Trump 412 times. That guy may not say another word other than Trump because he just despises him and wants to go out there and just make his name.
What's his percentage? 1?
Yeah, he might. I don't know how he's on stage. I don't know if the stage can hold him once he gets up there.
No, he's a long-term rhino. That's why he's on the stage.
But it'll be interesting to see what'll happen with the. Brian says it'll be open season on Trump tonight. If they're smart, they wouldn't do that though.
Mm-hmm.
If they're smart, they would lay off and go after each other and actually talk topics. The way to beat Trump is not to attack him. As the left is finding out, you charge him with 91 different fraudulent bunch of crap charges. All it does is make his base angrier and make him stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So he's smart. Trump is actually going to be on Twitter tonight on X with Tucker Carlson during the debate. And so there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to be watching the debate or be watching Trump with Tucker. I probably will. I'd probably rather watch that.
I would watch Trump over these 3 boobs.
Well, there's going to be 8 of them, I think. 8 boobs on stage.
All right, and all of them just going to say the same old stupid shit.
Well, and the thing is, though, the only one that's not going to attack is going to be Vivek. Him and Trump have something going on together.
Right.
But the rest are just going to attack Trump. Why? Why make him stronger? By attacking him, you're just going to piss off the base once again. And they're going to hate you for it.
Yeah, and they're not going to vote for you for it. So
just leave them alone and do your thing. Talk about what you think is going to make the country better.
Yeah. I'm going to be most anxious to see the numbers. The numbers of people that watch Twitter versus the number of people who watch debate. I'll bet you it's 2-1 Twitter.
Yeah, probably. We had people actually calling today, the station, and asking where you can find the Tucker Trump stuff.
Oh.
And I said, well, Twitter, X is what it's called, but Twitter. And, well, does that mean I have to sign up for it? Well, yes, you have to sign up for Twitter. I mean, I don't know where else somebody might try to post it, but I'm assuming that Twitter is going to have the exclusive rights and probably slap down anything that's going to be out there.
Yeah.
Might be able to go to TikTok and get some clips.
There'll be clips after, of course. And God knows anything Trump says that's even remotely dangerous, that'll be on all the mainstream news stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they'll conveniently clip him just right so he looks like an idiot.
Well, they do all the time. And,
yeah, that's their modus.
And again, I'm not the biggest Trump guy, but the left is now making me a Trump supporter again.
Yeah.
Because I like his policies, and now the more they push, the more they do this crap to him, the more I feel bad, the more I want to vote for him again. Because I hate the left that much at this point with what they're doing to children, the way that they're the masks and everything else. I hate them at this point. And I can't stand that side of the aisle for their beliefs that I think are ruining this country.
Sure.
And so the more that they attack him, the more I want him to win.
Yeah. I think I've transitioned back over to the same as I was in 16.
Don't care.
I don't care who it is. I ain't voting for Hillary. That's kind of, and I used to say it all the time. I used to say I'd vote for the BTK killer over Hillary because he killed less people, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
But you know, I think I'm at that point again now. I'd vote for anybody over Biden. I'd vote for a dead person over Biden, so he'd still have better intellect.
Yeah. The dead person might be able to stand upright better than Biden.
The dead person could probably put together a more consistent thought than Biden. He is a fucking idiot.
I got a message from Tony Masaccio, our restaurant reporter.
Yes.
I had just gotten into a car accident on 77.
Oh, my God. I hope he's all right.
I'm okay, but obviously I'm not going to make it on the air.
All right. Well, no eats today.
You want to go downstairs and I can...
I'm here from Seth's kitchen.
I'm here from Seth's kitchen where nothing gets cooked because...
Look at these brand new stoves, never been used.
Never been used.
Here's a grill, never been lit up.
Hey, that's not true. All right, I have to ask you because I might ask you for a favor because I tried and I can't get it to work.
Okay.
I took pictures and I want to put them on Odyssey.
Yeah.
For the.
Yeah, send them over. I'll put them over.
And so I have a bunch of pictures that I took of me actually using the grill the other night and making burgers.
Yeah, send them over. I'll put them up.
I'll do that. I'll send them to you because it was quite an interesting night, to be honest.
I want to hear about this.
Not that I sucked at cooking the burgers. I think they actually came out okay. There are some other things I want to get into tonight. I want to talk about. You have a video that I want you to play.
Which the people of Maui or the longer form video?
The longer form video.
What time's our guest on?
5:30. So
okay. All right.
But yeah, cooking the other night on the grill. I got it lit.
Yeah.
But my problem is that, dude, again, with one leg and a wife that isn't like I think she skipped every semester of home ec.
Mm-hmm.
So I was literally doing all this stuff by myself. So I'm trying to get into the house, and then I have dog.
Right.
So I'm trying to keep the dog out from going outside to where the grill's at because then she'll run away. So I have to go through my bedroom to the patio.
Right.
Open the patio door, get outside of the grill, put the stuff on, and get back inside. And I got to do all this stuff going back and forth, grabbing cheese, grabbing this, grabbing that, and trying to keep the dog out. And it stares in, stares out.
Sure.
And doing it on one leg, dude, I thought I was going to die. I thought, fuck COVID. I thought I was going to die of just like exhaustion.
Right.
And my other leg was going to fall off as I was trying to grill this food. But I think they turned out okay.
All right.
They weren't the greatest, but they weren't the worst.
Did you get a better sense of what you're going to do in the winter as far as grilling from the garage?
Well, I think that what I'm going to have to do, what I decided, because it really wasn't all that smoky, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not using like charcoal and stuff, just a gas grill. And so there wasn't a ton of smoke. But I think what I'm going to do is just put when I'm ready to grill, I'm going to get like a rubber mat kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like a rubber on the bottom and then like carpeting on the top kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I can roll out, put that out into the driveway.
Yeah.
So I don't slip and fall and die.
Right.
And then have the grill outside to cook and stuff. And I'll be all right.
Sure. Yeah, that'll be fine.
And I'll have the garage open so at least I can stay somewhat warm.
Yeah.
But not get the smoke and stuff inside.
If you get too cold, you always get closer to the grill.
Right. Put my face down.
Hey.
I got it. Maybe I should tell you that story. Have I ever told you my story where I burned my face?
No.
I know you have a burn accident kind of thing.
It's not going to upset me if that's what you're worried about.
So, I mean, obviously, I didn't like. All right. So it was Christmas Eve.
Okay.
Can't remember how many years ago, but my daughter was still pretty young, so still believed in Santa Claus and stuff like that. And I was at the radio station that night, and on our way home from the station, maybe 10 o'clock at night, there was a nasty storm.
Right.
It was like thunder, snow kind of storm.
Okay.
And all the power went out.
Right.
So I knew that we didn't have power at the house. So I stopped at Burger King. I had to wait for the computers to come back up. Computers came back up. But when I got home, there was no power on.
Okay.
So we had to eat this Burger King by candlelight.
Right.
And it was really, it was kind of nice. It was kind of intimate and stuff like that. But my daughter's freaking out because we didn't have power. She thought Santa was going to miss the house.
Right.
Don't worry about it. I gave her my phone so she could listen to something while she went to sleep, and she went to bed.
Sure.
At which point, me and the wife decided we're going to just start getting our drink on, man. It's Christmas Eve night. We're going to,
right.
We're pounding down some beverages. Daughter's sleeping. Everything's fine, but we have no power.
Sure.
And so, we're hammered. And I have to be Santa Claus real quick. So I went and grabbed all the presents, put everything out under the tray. I stumbled throughout the entire house and fell over some of the gifts. So it was a mess. When I woke up the next morning, I realized that Santa put like gifts into the wrong stockings. So like she was all confused because her gifts were in like my stocking, and it was a nightmare. But so I needed to feed the dog.
Right.
So I couldn't see anything because we had no power, and I didn't have I couldn't open up the can because the can opener is electric, and so we had no power. So I went into the kitchen and I grabbed a knife, and because now I'm drunk, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to open this can. It's fine. I'm like, boom! I start beating the hell out of this can with this knife. I end up slicing my hand like all the way down my palm.
Oh man!
And now my palm is bloody, but I don't care because I'm hammered.
Right.
And now I got the can finally open, blood and all, but so I got blood dripping on the food and on the ground, and I got this can, and I'm standing there like an asshole in the kitchen going, no, I can't see anything. It's freaking dark in here.
Right.
And so I say, all right, I grab a lighter because I smoked back then too.
Sure.
I'm going to grab a lighter. I'm going to see this bowl. I'm going to put it in. And of course, because I'm drunk, I lean down way too close to the flame. And all of a sudden, my wife was like, dude, your face is on fire. I lit my entire right side of my beard and face on fire with the lighter that I was trying to see the bowl for the dog food in. And I get up and I'm like shaking. Flames are flying all over the place. I got ashes from my beard going all over the ground. And woke up the next morning on Christmas Day, and I look in the mirror, and I have one side is all beard, and the other side is completely gone.
Singed.
Singed hair hanging on. It was the greatest Christmas of all time. But
that's funny.
It was it hurt a little bit because
I
wasn't in a hurry to actually get the flames out because I thought it was funny. I'm like, look, my face is on fire. I'm like, ugh.
That's hilarious. Too good. Oh wow.
Should have videoed you using the grill and doing everything else. I took a bunch of pictures. It's going to be on Odyssey.
Yep,
I'll send you those pictures.
We'll put them up later today.
All right. Let's take a quick break, and I don't want to get into that video since we don't have Tony. We have time.
Yeah,
and we have Khalid Namar coming up from American Prosperity, Ohio.
Yep.
He started to come on last week and then couldn't because his mic died. So hopefully everything is going to be all right. Seth, get a manual. I have now 3 of them.
Just in case.
Just in case, but I don't smoke. So
yeah, now the power stays on.
All right, hang on. We'll be right back.
It is time to save America and stop funding woke corporations. Shop with merchants that share your values today. Get all the great products you buy online anyway from Mammoth Nation. Visit the online store today at us.cmspn.com and save money while helping to fend off enemies of our way of life. We can't expect change until we make changes ourselves. Shop Mammoth Nation today.
Are you looking for a way to support the Seth Williams Show? Get your Seth Williams Show merchandise today. From coffee mugs to clothing and everything in between, our high-quality merch is the perfect way for you to not only support the show, but show everyone what is the greatest show going today. Just go to shop.thesethwilliamsshow.com now, shop around, and buy some great merchandise from the Seth Williams Show. Shop today.
What separates Triv's restaurant in Strongsville from everybody else? Some restaurants you go to eat the same thing over and over and over. But then there are restaurants like Triv's, where you want to go there every single time and eat something different until you have eaten every single item on the menu. Why? Because the food's delicious, and it has been for almost a quarter of a century. Triv's has amazing food, outstanding service, and an opportunity for you to have private dining, special events, and intimate occasions. You can enjoy a memorable fine dining experience in your own dedicated, intimate space. Visit Triv's in the heart of Strongsville. Call now for reservations 440-238-8830. Trivs in Strongsville. Joe Burdick custom flags are amazing. Each flag is handcrafted to reflect the imperfect perfection, making each piece of patriotic wall art unique. This is a local small business, veteran-owned and proud. Joe Burdick creates symbolic artwork that is built to last. Display your spirit, pride, and patriotism by calling 440-305-2065 and let Joe's flag serve you. 440-305-2065. Joe Burdick Flags. Let me introduce you to Charlie's Auto Repair. Any car, any truck, any problem, Charlie's does it right. You know how it is. The check your engine light comes on, you put air in the tires, and the light is still on. 216-470-0170. That's Charlie's Auto Repair, 13728 Madison in Lakewood. Charlie can do it all, from small engine repair to fleet maintenance and system diagnostics. 216-470-0170. Charlie's Auto Repair. Let Charlie make your car great once again.
Back here, the Seth Williams Show with Chris Aiken, CMStv.
I'm looking at the pictures, and I'm going to put one of them up. I know it's supposed to be the private content. I won't put them all, but I'll put one up. Dude, you went for the straight-up heart-stopper burgers here. Holy cow. These things look like they'll stop your heart. Look at that.
Yeah, dude, it's got Swiss cheese, though. It's Swiss
That's
cheese.
a lot of cheese. Holy smokes.
Yeah, when I put one slice on, it looked like it wasn't, like, you could see the burger. I decided that I needed to add more because I don't want to see the burger. I want to see the cheese.
Wow.
And I made a lot of them.
Those will send you to the hospital faster than a COVID shot.
I think there was three of us, me, my wife, and my 16-year-old daughter.
Right.
And I made like 10, 12 burgers.
That's funny.
And a big pack of hamburgers, so
got to make it all, right?
Make it all.
Well, those look good. I bet they were good as fuck.
They were, but there's plenty more pictures where that came from. So if
Yeah,
you want to see the rest, you're gonna have to go to Odyssey.
Yeah, we'll put the rest of them on Odyssey. I just saw that. I was like, damn, now
You have to admit,
forget Masashio. Now I'm starving.
You can see. I mean, it's kind of entertaining. Some of the pictures,
Yeah.
out in the backyard.
Yeah, I don't have those little whatever those things are called that you have the shrimp and stuff in. I don't.
Oh
have those.
yeah. People got to see those. I bought those on Amazon.
And what? Those sit on the grill?
Yeah, they're like
Oh.
metal. They're like metal cages, and
Yeah.
you put shrimp or vegetables and that kind of stuff in there.
All right.
And it comes like two little hooks. You just yank them off the grill, but you put them in the grill and on the grill. And
Nice.
so yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Very good, man. Yeah, we'll put the rest of them on Odyssey later on today, so people can see that. But yeah, good work there, man.
Just hear mothers tell kids. What? Mothers who tell kids at 4 about sex have a mortal sin to answer for. Amen.
Yeah.
There's that lady. I played a clip from earlier today. We'll play the other video here in a minute. But Pierce Morgan is talking to this lady about her child.
Yeah, her child that made their decision to be they
Made
thems.
their decision. Listen to this. It's only a minute. Hang on.
Reference.
Yeah,
It
when did
doesn't
Hazel
dictate.
decide that she was no longer going to be a girl?
Hazel decided that they were non-binary when they were about 4. They had been exploring gender before that, trying on different pronouns, experimenting with different names. But they picked they, them pronouns and chose the name Hazel when they were 4
Ari,
years old.
with the greatest of respect, I have a 7-year-old daughter, right? When she was 4 years old, her main decision of the day was whether to watch Peppa Pig or Frozen. She had not a clue what about gender identity or non-binary or any of this stuff. And I put it to you that this wasn't Hazel's idea, was it? This was your idea. You decided that Hazel had gender issues that she needed to address, and you persuaded your daughter that she was no longer to be a girl, didn't she?
I would have liked to heard that answer.
Yeah, I know. I wish they played the rest of it because, I mean, come on, this is the kind of ridiculous crap that we're going with. I mean,
and even worse than the quote unquote kid making the decision, don't you just want to smack her every time she says they?
Yes.
Every time she says, "Well, they made their decision." Shut up.
Now it's a
singular.
Now it's a thing on X or Twitter to now put your name and then your pronouns next to your name. Yeah. I mean, this is a freaking joke. And again, you can't have an argument with people that believe this kind of stuff because they're not right. And look, I know some very, very smart people. Some of the smartest people I've ever met are freaking on the left, but you can't have an argument with them about actual facts about stuff like this. No. They will think that it's okay. I don't get it. I don't get it. Really smart people are just stupid.
Was it on the show or was it just something I saw that said that Disney World or Disneyland or whatever is requiring the they, them, he, him, whatever badges or else you can't enter the park?
Yeah, so that way a Disney park person doesn't get in trouble or sued over misgendering somebody.
Yeah. Well, doesn't that just lead you to write? Because I saw that also you could write it in marker. It's not like it's like a prepackaged thing.
Right.
Mine would be like, fuck cunt. That would be mine. And it'd be like, okay, what are you going to call me? Fuck or cunt?
If you don't call me this, I'm suing the park.
Yeah, I'm going to sue you for not calling me a fucking cunt. You know, next to this 3-year-old that's walking by just looking to get on the, Snow White's tea ride or whatever.
Yeah.
Can I help you, fuck?
I always come up with anything. Like butt monkey, anything. You're right. When I'm going to the park, I'm writing whatever. And if you don't call me that for help, so help you God, man. You're going to get me ass suit out of you.
Absolutely. They're so stupid.
Oh, God. All right, you got that video?
I do. I have it right here.
All right.
So I'll set this up a little bit because I don't think you're not aware of this guy, are you?
I saw briefly, and I wanted to be more surprised than anything.
Okay. Well, there's he's a political pundit out there. His name is Styx Hexenhammer. He is one of, if not the largest, non-funded, self-made pundits on the internet. He claims himself to be a libertarian. I think he is really, because some of his views are kind of like my stuff that everybody calls me a leftist for. He's mostly right leaning. He does have some leftist views, but he's monstrous online. Where the mainstream, he gets more numbers than the mainstream media does on everything.
Wow.
He has the most subscribers on BitChute. He's one of the, if not the number one non-corporate funded guy on Rumble. He's the number one most followed person on Odyssey. And he has, I think he has 600,000 or 700,000 followers on YouTube as well.
Wow.
I mean, he's massive. He's massive. He lives in like Denmark or somewhere now. He got the hell out of the US because he couldn't take it anymore. But he, in my opinion, is almost always spot on with his views, and he's very blunt. So this was a video that popped up today that just made me laugh because I saw the title and I just was like, this has to come on our show, because the title of the video is "Only a Complete Idiot Would Support Biden at This Point." And I was like, yeah, I got to see what this is about. But he makes some very good points, and I'm going to put this up just for a second. I do agree with Gunner on this too. Salty Cracker's another one that's a big time. And my personal friend, mine and Neely's personal friend, Jericho Green, another one. He literally quit his day job just to do YouTube.
Wow.
And we should get Jericho on the show at some point. He would come on and do. He would love this. But he's a black gentleman that rails against the coddling of black people that makes them look weak and pathetic the way the media does that.
They absolutely do that.
They do. And he rails on it. So we'll get Jericho on.
I want to get him on.
We'll get Jericho on. He's a text away. So, but Styx Hexenhammer's really, really blunt. I find him funny, although I don't think he's trying to be funny. But we'll play this and we'll kind of comment along the way. I think you're going to sit there just shaking your head yes and agreeing with everything he has to say. So here he is. It's Styx Hexenhammer about why if you support Biden, you're a complete idiot. Here we go.
All right, everyone. Once in a while, I like to be a little bit blunt. If you still support Joe Biden at this point, there's got to be something wrong with you. I can understand if a person is a partisan, so they're just like a lifelong Democrat or Republican, and they just default to the person that is within their party. I don't fault people for that, although I do think that partisan politics is dumb. As a non-Republican, non-conservative, although I constantly get misbranded as one, I can sympathize with that particular fixture of politics because a lot of people, they have a football team mentality. They've been raised up in it, and it's not really their fault. So if you're supporting Biden, not because you like him, but because of your party, I'll give you a pass. You don't...
All right, let's stop there. What do you think of that sentence?
It's pretty accurate. I mean, there are a lot of people that are just like that. They're just party.
Yeah.
I chose a team. Wasn't raised a team. I chose a team.
Right. I chose the opposite team. My whole family is very left leaning.
My mom and I my mom has been passed for quite some time, but we never really talked a lot of politics, mainly because I was just a stupid FM guy back then.
Right.
And didn't really care about politics. And so I wasn't educated enough to really get into the fight.
Sure.
Unlike today, but so I really never talk politics, and me and my dad differ completely on politics today. So
yeah, I know. I've definitely had some very uncomfortable Thanksgivings at my mom's house because I'm literally I am definitely the only person that doesn't just bow down to the left everything. Everybody else in my family is hard left wing, and definitely some of them play this whole identity politics and social justice and all that other shit, which you know how I am. It's not like I'm going to sit there and go, yeah, that's interesting. But, I will absolutely say, no matter who it is too, this is wrong and you're an idiot.
Yeah.
So like I said, some Thanksgivings have been a little uncomfortable, but is what it is. But, all right, here's some more Styx Hexenhammer.
You don't want your grandpappy's ghost to get mad at you for voting for the other party or something like almost like a feudal thing, like two very tribalistic families out in the hillbilly hills of Arkansas or something like that. Okay, I'll give you a pass. If you support his ideological policies, though, at this point, you got to be nuts. And I think there are few people who actually fall into that category, thankfully. I think there are more people that viscerally hate him. Everything that he's done, everything that he touches doesn't turn to gold, it turns to shit. That's number one. Like the shit that he takes after Jill gives him his prune smoothie and his fiber biscuits, and he takes his midday nap, and he poops his pants, and then she or a Secret Service agent has to change him. I think that's actually fairly believable at this point. I mean...
Ouch.
Yeah. He's right, though. All right.
Yes. Well, that's the saddest part about this is 10 years ago to say something like this about a president would have been a Saturday Night Live skit.
Yeah.
Now it's just, right. You literally listen to this and you're like, yeah, that sounds right.
It is.
It's craziness, man. But all right, here we go.
He's obviously got some health issues. He needs more fiber in his diet, Jill. Give him a third fiber biscuit for lunch and see what happens. The Oval Office, the porcelain throne across the Oval Office will definitely no longer be part of the White House. It'll be part of the Brown or off-Brown House at that point. Link in the description, though. I want you to take a look at this. This is Biden in Maui. He goes to Maui. 13 days late, by the way, after telling the press that he has no comment on what's going on in Maui, probably because he missed his briefing. He was too busy dirtying his own briefs. he then goes to Maui. The first thing he does when he steps off the tarmac is complain about the heat and effectively insinuate that it's similar to like the fires that have gone through recently. So that's number one.
Did he really do that?
That one I missed. I'm going to have to try to find that one.
Yeah, I did not hear that one. But that's, oh my God, if he did that. Oh, it's too hot here. What am I doing here?
Yeah. Man.
Holy shit. This guy.
Yeah.
All right.
That.
All right, here we go.
A problem. Then he goes up before some people and he starts complaining about how he once suffered a house fire. This was almost 20 years ago. And he almost lost his Corvette and his wife and his cat. Of course, we know that that fire was actually a very minor fire in his kitchen that was easily contained. Yes, Joe, your multi-million-dollar home is very impressive. We are aware of the fact that you own a Corvette. We don't need to be reminded of that. If you're going to do that, you're doing a Mitt Romney, basically. This is the other thing. I wanted to mention this really briefly. I take umbrage of this. He effectively had a Mitt Romney moment. Do you remember when Mitt Romney was at, I think it was a NASCAR event back during the 2012 election, and he was like talking about how people's fancy-ass ponchos or something like that. They had like these $10 rain parkas because they were out in the rain, and he's sitting there wearing a suit that's worth as much as their fucking car. And people didn't like that because here you have a dude who's worth $100 million or so dollars, I think at that time, probably twice that now, a vulture capitalist, in other words, corporatist, with a car elevator and a collection of fancy cars and multiple homes that are all very large and very rich. But he would pretend to be down to earth. He would pretend to be one of the dudes, the sort of politician who would go to the local dive bar and start talking people up, and he's ordering martinis while everyone else is drinking Pabst or something like that.
He's fun, right?
Oh, yeah, he's good.
He definitely brings it, but he brings it. Here's what I like about Styx. You could tell he's a super smart guy.
Yes.
And he's literally rattling off the top of his head. That's what I like most about this guy. It's clear he's not reading anything.
No.
He's just... But to even remember that stuff, like I when he mentioned that parka thing, I remembered the parka thing.
Yeah.
But I'd long forgotten that, you know? Guy's got it on the tip of his brain, man. Good
He's
stuff.
good.
All right, here's some more on why you're a complete idiot if you support Biden.
And people are like, they're rolling their eyes and they're like, okay, fuck off, dude, basically. They don't tell you that to your face. They'll be respectful, but they're thinking that inside. Why don't you be more like Donald Trump? Own up to the fact, yeah, I own a Corvette and I'm better than you. I'm really, really rich. Ha, ha, ha. I've got all the power. That would have been, oddly enough, a better move than what Joe Biden managed to accomplish by whining about the fact that his car was endangered by a house fire. But then you have this. Again, link in the description. Watch it. Joe Biden did not almost fall asleep at an event in Maui. But doesn't the dude look massively tired and haggard and just like he's falling apart? Like, who is the White House physician right now? Is it Jack Kevorkian's relative? Is it his cousin or something? Yeah, the jokes write themselves. The dude is literally crepitating in front of us in real time, much like Mitch McConnell or Dianne Feinstein, and nobody appears to be interested in doing anything about it. The dude is literally crepitating. People bring up Crypt Keeper memes all the time. No. I think it's more like is somebody messing with his medication and making him croak faster or something? Yeah, is the DNC replacing his prescription at that secret White House? Secret DC pharmacy where they don't give the receipts to the public to show all the weird shit that all the politicians are on?
It's an interesting theory, right?
It is.
By the way, this is so getting kicked off of YouTube.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Needless to say, this is an Odyssey video that I don't think he even put on YouTube. But we'll share it there. Why not? I'm sure Styx won't have a problem with that. All right, here we go.
Prescription cocaine, probably a lot of Viagra, I would imagine. Libido enhancers, Alzheimer's drugs. We do have a gerontocracy at this point. Is someone fucking with his medication? What the fuck planet is this dude even on at this point? I don't think it's Earth, though. I think it's somewhere else in the maybe in this solar system. That's all we're hoping for. That's the best outcome, is that Joe Biden is not in the next galaxy over at this point. The dude is completely scrambled. He's nuts. You can't possibly tell me that somebody would ideologically choose to support Joe Biden. I can understand supporting him if you genuinely believe the propaganda that Orange Man bad, because you've been trained to believe that his almost certain opponent is Hitler, a retarded version of Hitler. Okay, I can give you a pass. I disagree with you. I can give you 100 reasons why you're wrong, but at least you've got a reason. If you're a partisan Democrat, I can understand. Old habits die hard. You know, it's sort of like smoking, I suppose, in that case. I can understand. But there are apparently at least a few people out there who ideologically believe that Joe Biden has done a good job, number one, is healthy enough to serve another 4-year term, number two, and number three, isn't effectively wasting away into the ground before their very eyes.
He is dead on this.
Oh, he absolutely is.
Those 3 points alone. How do you argue those 3 points? How does anyone argue those 3 points? He's so perfectly on top of this. Yeah, good point there.
I mean, yeah, he's right, though. I mean, how can you support him and the job that he's done? Yeah, you can't almost give a pass to the people that are just so angry with Trump that Orange Man bad, like he said.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to hate him because I want to hate him. Not because he did a bad job with the country, but because he's Donald Trump. And Orange guy, bad. I was told he was bad, so he must be bad.
Right.
I listen to CNN nonstop, and I will form every opinion based on what they tell me to do.
That's right.
So Orange Man is bad.
Mm-hmm.
And with nothing else to back it up. Yes,
Yeah.
he's a bad businessman when he was in New York, or he's a pig when it comes to women. Okay, and what did he do for the country?
Yeah.
CNN says he's bad. Rachel Maddow says he's bad. I'm going to listen.
Mm-hmm. And I always do, and I've done this to my friends, so it's not like it's like I think it in my head, but I don't say it. Like, I'll be in like a text thread or something with somebody, and they'll throw up. They'll a lot of times they'll throw up the Trump thing because they know that it's a hot button for me, and they'll throw it up there, and they always lean back to him being a womanizer, and but then when I call them out because I know that they've cheated as well,
right?
Then I'm an asshole. You're calling me out for supporting this guy that wants to grab him by the pussy. What did you do? You cheated on your wife, you stupid asshole. How are you better?
Bill Clinton had more sex than Wilt Chamberlain did.
Yes.
And who wouldn't if he were married to Hillary? But still, you love him. You would vote for him again if he ran. Bill Clinton, great president, love him.
Yeah.
He had more sex than Wilt Chamberlain did.
Of course.
And that's all right. He treated women like whatever, dude. All right.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
It is. It's craziness, but all right, there's another couple minutes of this. Here we go.
They choose generally not to even view this material. They will simply fact check it into oblivion. Joe Biden didn't almost fall asleep. Okay, granted, you're correct. Does he look well? Does he look healthy? No, I don't think that he does. And meanwhile, you've got the mythology being dreamed up by the DeSantis fans right now that Donald Trump is skipping the debates due to heart disease. Yeah, there's definitely a comparison to be made. Donald Trump appears to be able to walk up a flight of stairs. Joe Biden has a little bit of a difficulty with this from time to time. You may have noticed this. There is no comparison to be made. It's like apples and oranges, or rather night and day in this particular case. Anyone else in the entire race, including people who are almost as old as Joe Biden, are more fluent, more coherent, obviously more physically healthy, and they don't look like they just woke up out of the grave like that one zombie dude who constantly comments on Rumble. Meme-worthy, by the way. We've got our own resident zombie. I'm sure that he's doing better than Joe Biden in the cognitive department, too. Memes aside, though, you got to be crazy if you're still supporting Joe Biden. His policies are all over the place. They've been a mess. Half of them have failed anyway. Those that have gone through have been disasters. We've got shovel-ready 2.0 on steroids. We've got the antithesis of tax relief at a time when the economy is already hurting. You've got Bidenflation, which, by the way, is still linear. It's not actually going down. Thankfully, it's no longer rising precipitously, but it's still not moving in a positive direction. You'd need prolonged deflation in order to take care of that, and that's not what we have right now. The risk of more interest rate rises by the Fed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Go on down the line. Find me an accomplishment of Joe Biden, because I'm scratching my head. I'm wondering, what has he accomplished other than being a goddamn embarrassment? Other than that, I can't think of anything. That's about all. Peace out.
So there you go.
Couldn't be more right.
That's what I'm saying. That was 8 minutes of perfect dialogue. Perfect. He didn't say one thing that was incorrect. Not one thing, and really not any of it was really opinion either, was it?
No. And that's what I want. I mean, I want somebody on the left to tell me one accomplishment that Joe Biden has.
Yeah.
I can't think of... Give me one accomplishment. And then you get the left and say, well, Donald Trump didn't accomplish anything. Well, wait a second. He came out with the vaccine that you on the left love so much.
Yeah.
So he did something for you. I don't agree with it, but he did something for the left. You agree with it. You want it. You got it. And that was from Donald Trump.
He opened peaceful dialogue with North Korea.
Of course he did.
You know, and I mean,
there were no wars underneath Donald Trump. None.
Yeah, none. Not at all. Now we're just, vomiting money to the Ukraine for no real reason.
Sending billions to the Ukraine while we don't take care of the people here in the U.S.
That's
like
right.
The people who were burning up in Hawaii.
Yeah. Well, they got $700, Seth.
You realize that there was a video I saw the other day that was talking about what the average Hawaiian spends in that area on groceries per month, and it was almost double what he gave them.
Well, that's
just
nice.
On groceries.
Yeah, that's nice of him.
Because Hawaii is not a cheap place to live.
No, not at all. Well, we said that last week, dude. Is what could they buy with $700? Probably a door on their house that they need to replace.
Right. So I'm looking for the one thing. I know that we have a couple of liberals that are listening now, people that are on the left and progressives, and I know that there's a couple of them at least listening. Tell me just give me an example of the one thing that Joe Biden has done that's an accomplishment. Maybe I'll agree with you. Maybe I'll agree and say, yeah, okay, he did that.
And you know what makes me more mad than that point? The places where he obviously failed that were his agenda, and they forgive him for it. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I was 1,000,000,000% against the college relief thing.
Yes.
Where I was you made those decisions. You're the one that ran up those bills. You shouldn't get. If you're gonna relieve student debt, then you better be relieving my mortgage and just let me have my house for free too. That's the way I looked at it. I have no interest in helping some liberal arts dumbass with their bills. I just don't. You made that obligation, you pay for it.
Amen.
That being said, Biden rammed it through and it failed anyway. It failed. But nobody's holding him accountable for that.
No.
Why aren't all these 20 to 35-year-old people, liberal people, why aren't they up in arms that they were promised that they were going to lose $50,000 worth of debt, and now they're not? Why aren't they up in arms about that?
This Inflation Reduction Act that was supposed to reduce the nightmare that we're dealing with when it comes to grocery stores and everything else was no. Now it's come out that it was basically a green agenda, which is going to fail miserably as well. And again, there's no accountability for this guy. None. It's Bidenomics. One, it's not really exactly a name that just was around. Reaganomics. I mean, it's been around for a long time. I mean, it's not like he's some creator of something new here. No. This guy's an ass.
Yeah, he's awful.
And nothing that he's done has worked. Tell me something he's done. There's liberals. One person. Just tell me what he's done that's worked.
The only thing he's done, took Donald Trump's job.
That's it.
That's the only thing he's done. And wrecked the country in the process. It's remember those videos of the big tsunami a couple of years ago?
Yes.
That's the Biden presidency to me. It doesn't come in real fast or anything. Like, remember watching those videos for the first time and you were like, damn, where's the big wave that just, that looks like from the day after tomorrow or something. It just knocks buildings completely over or whatever. You know, you were expecting that. You didn't expect the water to just keep coming and coming and coming and coming. But that's what fucking Biden is. It's like this wave of shit that just keeps flushing in. More and more keeps flushing in. It's astounding to me that this guy still has anyone. It astounds me this guy has 1% approval rating, let alone 30 or whatever it is. I know he's got like a horrible rating, but what is
not that bad.
Is it not 30?
I mean, I don't know, but I don't think it's really that bad. I think there's a lot of just crazy people. Again, it's not because Joe Biden is so great. It's because I hate Trump and I'm not going to vote for him. Has nothing to do with it. And it has nothing to do with the way Trump ran the country. I don't know what it is. You can call a guy an asshole, and he could be an asshole, but it doesn't mean he can't run the country right. I don't understand that. I would vote for a dick who's going to run the country right over somebody like Joe Biden.
Yeah.
On either side, I would do it.
I
want somebody that's going to run the damn country right.
This is one of those times I wish Chiselko was listening and we could get him to tune in, because I would love to hear why he thinks that, if he thinks even, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I would love to hear if he thinks that Biden's doing a good job. I can't imagine that he would say no, can you? And Seth froze up. God. All right. Well, since we're at that point in the show, the weekly freeze up with Seth, let's do this. Let's go ahead and we will take a little break, and then we will come back. And with any luck, we'll have our guest on shortly, so check it out. We will be back shortly. It is the Seth Williams Show.
There's no place like home, and whether it's furniture, artwork, home accessories, appliances, or that one-of-a-kind collectible, Yellow Brick Road Online Auctions allows you to find everything you need from the comfort of your own home. The owner of Yellow Brick Road Auctions has been conducting online estate auctions for over 8 years by providing homeowners with a stress-free process to liquidate all items that have accumulated over the years.
I'm Melissa Mendici, owner of Yellow Brick Road Auctions. Log on today to find your heart's desire.
Hey, it's Seth from Mario's Barbershop in Parma, 7526 Broadview Road in the Pleasant Valley Shopping Center right next to Big Lots. You got to check out Mario, man. Great guy, does a lot for charities, but can perform miracles with hair. He even made me look clean cut. Does my hair, does a great job. Love talking to the guy while I'm sitting there. It's a great place to go, local business. You gotta go to Mario's Barbershop in Parma. Mario's Barbershop in Parma, 7526 Broadview Road. Again, in Parma, Pleasant Valley Shopping Center, right next to Big Lots. Or give them a call, 216-520-1977. That's 216-520-1977. Mario's Barbershop in Parma.
Trust Joe's Lakewood Computer at 14035 Madison in Lakewood. They have over 30 years of professional service handling laptop and desktop repair services, virus removal, and data migration, and much more. You can trust them with hardware updates to your computer's memory and hard drive. Call 216-651-3880. Whether you need a simple Windows install or you're interested in the latest computers for gaming, call Joe's Lakewood Computer at 216-651-3880.
This is Tim Elkhorn, radio voice of the Cleveland Cavaliers, for attorney Will Spiegelberg. Will Spiegelberg is not only a name you know, he's someone you can trust as your attorney, no matter the circumstance. Will Spiegelberg is an attorney you can always count on. Will Spiegelberg is the attorney you should contact for all your legal work. When you need an attorney, call Will Spiegelberg at 216-233-4240. Attorney Will Spiegelberg, a great teammate. 216-233-4240.
Yeah, my whole house went out.
Wow. Well, I think there's only one reason for that, isn't there?
Oh, there's got to be an explanation for all this. You want an explanation? God is pissed.
That's basically it. Yeah, everything went out here.
Yeah. What? Somebody hit a pole or lightning or something.
I got a light that's not working now. I got everything. It's a nightmare. I don't get it. I just don't.
I think it's because we were talking too much about Biden being an asshole.
Yeah,
I think the God shut us down.
Tony probably ran into my house. That's why he got into I didn't see where he got into an accident. Right? It's so funny. What? Yeah.
Too good.
Unbelievable. I only pay $300 a month in cable for internet. Like that sucks.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm gonna start doing the show via tin can where I just yell out a fucking window.
We'll put a phone line in just so that you can call in.
If people are looking for Tony Masashi, who got in a car accident.
Yeah, so
he says he's okay. I wish he would call in for that. I'd rather get him on the side of 77.
Hey, it's me, Tony Masaccio. I'm calling in from the lobby at Charlie's Auto Repair.
I was just at Charlie's, man. All right, yesterday sucked too. So yesterday, my wife's driving, and she was doing a dashing thing. I'm just waiting for the internet to go out again. But she was driving her car. All of a sudden, she hears this grinding sound out of nowhere.
Okay.
Now, I mean, we just had the brakes fixed last December, so
right,
but it hasn't even been a year.
Okay.
And they're supposed to last 70,000 miles or whatever like that. They haven't even put 20,000 miles on the car.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, there's this grinding sound whenever she stops, but the grinding wasn't going or the pedal wasn't going to like the floor or anything. Never squeaked or anything. It just went straight from fine to grinding.
Okay.
And so she had to take her car into Charlie today. Last night, dude. So last night there was a film of like looks like cigarette smoke on my windshield.
Okay.
I don't know if it's because my wife still smokes, or it was because I smoked for a long time. Maybe I just never washed the inside of my window since I got back from the hospital and all that kind of stuff. But there was this film on the inside of my car, and so the sun was out. It was glaring. I couldn't see a damn thing. I'm driving. All of a sudden, I couldn't see anything, and I drilled the car right up onto it, and I ended up like there's like a splash guard underneath,
right?
And I ended up knocking it off, and it's fine. I took it in, and nothing was wrong with the car. It's just that splash guard that came off and sucked. Thank God I didn't hurt it more or run over somebody.
Yeah, no kidding.
I had to clean that windshield, and so not a good day for the Williams family yesterday with the cars in the household. But it ended up being like a $40 fix for Heather's car. But we did take it to Charlie's Auto Repair in Lakewood. Charlie Kalani over there. Charlie is a good dude, and
yeah. So your $40 fix would have been like $600 at Midas or somewhere else, right?
Most likely they would have said it was like, yes, you have to replace this, this, and this.
Yeah. It's the back axle. It's got to be replaced.
Right. We have to remove every bit of the car from the bumper to the doors so we get to this part that you need fixed. It's actually a $30 part, but the labor is going to be $1,800.
Yeah.
That's one thing I like about Charlie. He's like very fair,
right,
and honest about stuff. I mean, I know that there's been people that took their car to like one of these high, not high end, but one of these like major chain joints, and they quote them $2,000-$3,000, and Charlie brings them in there, and I'm like, dude, you got to go to Charlie, and literally, it's thousands less, or hundreds less at least. And I like somebody that's at least fair, and you can't say that about a lot of auto mechanics, but Charlie, you can.
Yeah,
I'm not just saying it because he advertises here. I'm saying it because he's been a friend and has really helped me and my family out a lot for the past bunch of years.
I got to get my daughter over there. I know I was supposed to for the one incident, but then she said it wasn't really an incident. But she had the blower go out on her air conditioner on her car. Yeah. Went over to, and I have no problem saying it was Midas because it's truth.
Right.
They quoted her to replace the blower for an air conditioner, $600. I'm like, come on. You can go buy the part at AutoZone for about $75.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I had the same kind of issue. I went years without heat or air conditioning in my car because I'm a dumbass. And like literally, I would stand outside with my lighter again. I lit my face on fire the one time, but then I would sit with a lighter on snowy days and try to put it up against the windshield to try to melt the ice
Sure.
For my windshield because I didn't have a blower. My blower didn't work. And Charlie literally, I mean, took him a couple of hours maybe to rewire stuff, and it started working again.
Dude,
it ended up being a fuse problem or something like that. It took him next to no time to figure it out.
No time, exactly. Dude, I have a similar horror story. So when I was much younger, I too lost the heater in my car. I didn't go as crazy as you, just roll down the windows in December or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
I just tried to scrape it off, and then I would stop every so often and scrape it off again and go until I couldn't see anymore. Which is even probably more dangerous than what you were doing. But I remember one time I went out to the car. I was waiting for the car to heat up a little bit, I guess. I don't remember what I was doing, but I left it, and of course nothing defrosted at all on the windshield. So I took a scalding hot cup of coffee and threw it on the windshield. That windshield shattered, caved into the car. I was like, son of a bitch. I mean, it just splintered apart from a big old thermos of coffee and it was white hot coffee, but I just dumped it on it and just went, it was almost like throwing a brick through it.
Yeah.
It just boom right there. I was like, damn.
For years, I literally drove with. There was one time where my window didn't, the power window, the driver's side was broken.
Okay.
And instead of fixing it, because I really cared more about making sure I had fast food and cigarettes and stuff, I didn't get the
hung your head out the window.
So I got this window that's stuck open, and snow plows would go by me, and all sort of slush and ice would go flying up into my face as I'm driving around, and it was a nightmare. It was 12 degrees. I got socks for mittens on my hands. I'm bundled. I look like the kid from Christmas Story. I couldn't put my arms down, and because I was so bundled up trying to stay warm in that car, It was a nightmare. But I would, like I said, I was more concerned about making sure I had cigarette, vodka, and burgers. Than I didn't care about fixing the window.
Exactly. Oh man, too funny. So
I knew a mechanic who wouldn't fix his own van, and heater wasn't working, so he used to put a hot water bottle on the dash to clear the window. Finally, somebody said to me, "There's a fan that I could buy that would plug into the cigarette lighter,
right?
And I could attach it to the dash and aim it at the windshield, and that would kind of help." But for the most part, I was just stuck. There'd be days where it'd take me an hour to get to work because I'd be looking out the window of a sliver that big. I got my head all down on the ground. I got a cigarette in one hand, looking out this little sliver of clear windshield.
And yet, you probably not one time did you crash your car.
No, the fucked up thing is I didn't even have a license. So I could have gotten pulled over, and they would have been like, "What are you doing?" I'm trying to see a sliver.
You've been driving an illegal car illegally.
Yeah.
Too funny. Yeah, I'm going to answer Natalie here. No, I had no idea at that point. I was young. I was 22 years old or whatever. I didn't know. I had no idea.
We're supposed to be talking to Khalid Namar here in a little bit, a couple minutes, from Americans for Prosperity of Ohio or something like that.
Well, we got 4 or 5 minutes or until he comes on. Would you like to share the video of the warm welcome Biden got when he got to Hawaii?
Oh yeah, I saw this.
I have this video ready to go here. Let's pull this one up here. So this is the residents welcoming Joe Biden to Maui.
Wow, he's finally here. Wow, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, thanks for nothing. Fuck you.
Yeah, well, 81 million votes, man. Yeah, that's
apparently was none of these people.
No, and I thought that was a pretty liberal state over there.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard it's a very blue state. Now it's a very black and blue state. Charcoal.
Mark says they will vote blue again next November. That's the
Probably
problem.
will. They probably
That's
will.
the problem.
Mm-hmm. They'll forgive him for not showing up to help them for 13 days, and when he did offer help, it was so minimal. You know, it's like what he did was the equivalent of if you're $100,000 in debt and you ask somebody for a loan and they give you $10.
$10. Yeah.
Here you go, dude. I hope this helps.
Hope it helps.
Yeah. What an insult. That to me, that would be insult. I'd be like, you know what? Keep your fucking $700. That's not going to help me any. I mean, how is that going to help anybody?
It doesn't. It wouldn't help me.
That's what I'm saying. With your bills that you have right now, what would $700 do? Would it clear half of them?
No.
Would it clear a quarter of them?
It would pay my cable bill for 2 months.
Yeah. Whoopee. Whoopee. It wouldn't even pay if you had a house note, it wouldn't pay your house note.
No.
It probably wouldn't pay your quarterly property tax on that house.
Oh, no.
That's what this guy thinks is helping the American people.
I don't know what you pay in Twinsburg, man, but the property taxes here, I think, are high. But I've never paid property taxes before. I've always been a renter.
Yeah.
So this is my first time, like, actually having to pay property tax. And, like, now I want to go back to renting.
Yeah, I don't know what I pay. It's all worked into the mortgage because I would never pay it. I know that. I would just forget it forever until they came and took the house. But if I'm not mistaken, my house is a $160,000 house. And I think my yearly is like $2,000. I think. But again, it's all worked into the mortgage.
My property tax for 6 months is just over $2,500.
Jesus, what city?
Broadview Heights.
Wow, that's crazy. But you got a much bigger house than me, though, too.
I wouldn't say it's much bigger. What's the square footage on your house?
15.
We're at like 2,200.
Yeah, that's not that much bigger. It's not quadruple the price bigger or double the price bigger, that's for sure.
Just over $5,000 a year.
Yeah, that's a lot.
On property tax. And dude,
for
again,
the privilege of what?
Well, I like where I live. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything bad about the place where I live. I mean, it's fine. It's great. But that's a lot of money. That's a lot.
It is. It's what, $475 a month for the privilege of what? Having a house on a piece of land in their city?
Yeah.
Whoopee. That's like trailer park lot fees. So yeah, you could buy a trailer for $13,000, but your lot fees are $600 a month. It's like it kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and look, I mean, it's a great area. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything bad about the area. It is just for real.
Yeah, I'm sure you got no complaints about the house and about the area and about the house itself is great. It's just and again, this goes back to what we've been talking about. This is what these left-leaning idiots want. They want you to just pay. They don't want you to enjoy anything that you have. You just got to keep paying them. If you want to enjoy anything, you want to grill on, they're literally in their mind thinking, Seth's going to go and grill? Pay me more.
The thing that sucks is, like, for me, one, I haven't had a job in a year.
Right.
So thank God I have something now. With WHK, but for not having a job for a year, and somebody that's never had to put away money for property taxes.
Sure.
I don't know much about it. I don't know. I mean, can you make payment plans on stuff like that? I don't know.
Well, I guess you can. I know how mine works is through the mortgage, through the house note, and we just have it packaged all in, and I get statements that I never read. I ain't gonna lie, they could be fucking me hard, and I don't know. But I get stuff about, the mortgage and the escrow account and blah, 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 blah. Bunch of crap like that. So I guess that's how they do it, is they almost like pre-collect it, and then when it's time to pay, they have the money there to pay it out. I think that's how it works.
All right. We have Khalid ready to go.
Okay.
I want to get the Yellow Brick Road in. Yellow Brick Road auctions. They got a great
I
auction.
played it while you
Oh, you
were
did?
booting. Yes.
Okay, good. I want to real quick to talk about Yellow Brick Road auctions. Melissa's going to join us, I think, on Monday.
Okay.
She has a Barbie auction
Very nice.
going on. So go to yellowbrickroadauctions.com. Yellowbrickroadauctions.com. There's a Barbie auction. There's a bunch of Barbie stuff on. So check it out. But she'll be coming on Monday to talk about that and much more. So pretty cool stuff. All right. Yes, you can pay monthly, Seth. Right. So that's stuff I don't know. I'm not trying to. I hate to sound like an ass. I'm like almost 50 years old and I don't know how to pay property taxes because I never had to do it.
Yeah.
It was always, I guess, figured into the rent because I'm assuming that when I pay rent, they put that in. But anyways, all right, we're joined once again by Khalid Namar. Khalid Namar from Americans for Prosperity, Ohio. He joined us last week, but then something happened to his equipment. So we are joined once again. Hello, sir.
Hello, gentlemen. Thanks for having me back.
There it is. Yay! All right.
Perfect. How are you, Khalid?
I'm well. Good. Thanks for having me back. I was a little disappointed last week, but things happen.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, I appreciate you returning with us. I'll just kind of reset everything in case people missed it last week. I met Khalid at the radio station at WHK 1420. He does a show on Sunday nights, 9 o'clock, 9 to 11. And I'm up there doing a bunch of different things as well, running a bunch of different shows and kind of hanging out, making stuff work. And I met him there and we got to talking and told him about the podcast and I wanted to have him on because I think he does some great work. So Khalid, tell everybody about what you do, your show, and what Americans for Prosperity Ohio is doing.
Okay. Well, so first, my show is called Rising Tides. It is a show that is focused a lot on local issues. I mean, we do the typical national scene stuff and news items, but we also do local things, starting with the city of Cleveland, the county, state, because this is where we live. All politics is local, as Tip O'Neill once said. So we focus on that. We focus on trying to get people who normally may not listen to our point of view to listen. So I have things that I try to talk about to pull them in, because we have to start preaching to other people besides the choir. So we got to pull people in, change some minds, and educate some people. Because like Ronald Reagan said, it's not that our liberal friends are stupid. They just know so much that isn't so. And so that's what I try to do, and educate, do a little history. And we have some great conversations. I have Let's Talk Sunday conversation every now and then where I'll talk to interesting people, fascinating people about some greater topics. And with Americans for Prosperity, we work on basically keeping Ohioans free. We work on things like taxes. We just shrunk the income tax brackets from 3 down to 2, and we got a flat tax, the lower bracket, and we're trying to get the income tax removed over the next few years because we know we don't need it. We've done the studies. It's just more money for our state government to piss off. So we try to shrink them as much as possible. We work on things like school choice. We got some school choice funding in the budget. We're working on things to remove occupational licensing barriers, anything to keep people free, the government out of people's way and out of their pocket. That's the best way we can try to live free.
Right on. Let me ask you this, Khalid, about the flat tax, because I'm a big advocate of the flat tax. I'm with you. I'm apparently, as far as I'm concerned, and again, this is just my radical thinking. So I'm like, just make it 40% across the board. 40. I know that's a big number, but make it 40. You want something that costs $1, costs you $1.40. But make sure that there's legislation so that there can be no loopholes for it. It's just, if you want to save money, then don't spend money. If you want to spend money, well, then you have to pay more for the privilege of spending money. And that's always been my theory. And it gets shot down every time I talk to anybody on either side of it. They either say, well, 40% is too much or this or that. But in my head, it's like, when I think about it, like, we kind of already are paying 40% when you take you know, the price at the pump, the price at the grocery store, the local, the state, the Fed. When you add that all up, it might even be more than 40. So where do you guys stand on that? And how do you convince people is more the question that I have. How do I go out and tell somebody why that would be a good idea?
Well, first of all, we let them know how much money or how much of our income tax, as an example, how small it is as a percentage of the state budget. It's really not all that much. Number two, we also tell them there are too many taxing authorities in the state of Ohio, which we are going to be fighting that. We're going to be trying to shrink the number of taxing authorities. It's too many. It's too many authorities that have the ability to take money in the state. RITA is one of them, Regional Income Tax Authority, which everybody hates her. And that's the only woman I would advocate you're able to beat physically. I like to set up on a date with OJ. And, you know, so it's like we got to let people know how much money is being taken from us on all the different levels and all the different taxes that you're paying. So when it comes to a flat tax in the state, like I'm all about a consumption tax. Like, you know, I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because you have leftist groups that are complaining about suburbs and how they can afford better schools because they have property taxes. Well, some of these suburbs, inner ring suburbs, nobody's moving into. Right. And you don't have enough homeowners to pay for city services. So you need to go to some kind of consumption tax because you're not going to have people buying homes. You're not going to raise tax revenue. And your only option is to go begging the state. And that, to me, is a no-go. So I agree with you. There are too many taxing authorities. We try to tell people where their money's actually going. If they actually see it in front of them, it hits them. They can hear about it, but they have to see how many people are nickel and diming you to death with local taxes, county taxes, you know, your state taxes, and your sales taxes and excise taxes. And it's just insane.
I mean, they even have bed taxes. Everything. I mean, there's taxes everywhere you turn.
Death tax.
There's
When
death
you
tax.
die, you have to pay. Your family has to pay tax for your death.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I think all men with women in their lives are paying a bed tax. But anyway, I don't know if that would get me in trouble. Anyway, yes, bed taxes. There's so many things that they come up with to take money. And then if you look at what they spend it on, like we have millions of dollars going to the wine and grape industry in Ohio. If you ever heard of the Buckeye Institute, they're a conservative think tank in Ohio. We work with them a lot on financial or fiscal matters. What they've published every year is called a Piglet book. And they tell you all the junk and the pork that's in our budget that gets rubber stamped every year. And it's going in, obviously, it's going out and it's coming back into politicians' pockets. That's the only logical explanation for it. And if you start cutting this nonsense out of the budget, you eliminate the number of taxing authorities because this government really doesn't need as much money as they have, as we know, particularly on the Fed level. But on the state level, unfortunately, right now, we're spending more money than we've ever have. And all of that is just cronyism. And the problem in this state right now is Republicans, because Republicans are bad when they don't act like Republicans. Democrats are bad because they're Democrats.
Right.
See, and I think you're right. When Republicans are a problem. We talked about issue 1 a lot, you know, and issue 1 went down, obviously. Why do you think Republicans aren't doing the right thing in the state of Ohio? Do you think we're becoming a blue state? What do you think is going on with Republicans in Ohio?
Well, some of them, as Bob France, our good friend, calls them, they're trans Dems. They run down to the state and they start horse trading. They start to make deals for themselves. They want to keep their jobs. They have very good jobs down there. They don't do much. They work, 5-6 months a year. They get long breaks throughout the year. They get all these perks. They want to keep their jobs, so they go along to get along. They don't necessarily have the gumption to fight for the people that got them there. Now, there are some good ones down there, but not enough. And you have some of them who simply just sell out. They get money from the same people the Democrats get money from, like the teachers union and so forth, like some of these corporations, as we've seen in the householder trial. They're basically, they're sellouts. And those are the ones that are causing problems. Some of them are in leadership, like this guy, Oschlager, who's been a fixture in the leadership for years. these people get transfixed. They get a lot of money coming in. They get a lot of power, and they control a lot of the, junior and freshman members of the both chambers. So we have done a good job of getting lots of good people elected who have passed the school choice in the budget, who passed the income tax issues in the budget, like Thaddeus Claggett and Susan Manchester and Melanie Miller and Derek Marin and several others who've gotten in and done some good work. We just got a few more to get rid of, like this gang of 22.
Including the governor. I'm not a huge fan of this governor of the state of Ohio.
Yeah.
I think he's a Republican in name, but I'm not so sure it's beyond that.
Yeah, they're squishy. They're very squishy Republican, like Kasich. Kasich he was good on certain fiscal issues, but they're squishy. They have no courage. Rob Portman, who sold out basically, especially when they become lame ducks, they pretty much don't care what they do. Anthony Gonzalez, I think, is a crossing guard in Tuscarora County somewhere. His politics career is over because these people have no spine and they sell out.
And that's what happened to poor Anthony Gonzalez. I liked Anthony Gonzalez. He was an Ignatius guy, and I respected the hell out of it. But when he went against Trump and he decided he was going to basically throw his career away, I don't know where you don't hear anything from him anymore. And it's sad because these are guys. Kasich is another one. I met John Kasich numerous times. And back then I had long hair, had a beard that was twice the size of this, and I used to hang out with him in the elevator, and he would talk to me, and he would tell me to get a haircut. And he was a super nice guy. We'd get along with a lot of politics. Again, this Trump derangement thing happens to some of these guys, and all of a sudden they became not who they were. Trump, I don't know what it is. Donald Trump messed with people's minds.
Yeah.
And some of these Republicans have not recovered.
Well, I hear Anthony Gonzalez tried to run for dog catcher in Strongsville, and the dogs didn't want him. So with Trump, I am so happy he was elected, because even though it's a lot of bad things going on now, but think how many things have been exposed with his presidency. We know the media was in the tank and in the closet for Democrats. Now they're out of the closet. Now the intelligence agencies, we know who's corrupt. We know how this system works. So guess what? It's bad, but I'm happy it happened, because you had so much of dirt going on behind the scenes. Now it's all in the open. Now we just have to deal with it somehow. We can't give up. A lot of Republicans want to be liked. They really want to be liked, and they want to be accepted. And they feel, I know Republicans who were no more welcome, in leftist circles than the flu. But now they're taking pictures with celebrities, and they're going on certain TV shows because they want to be liked. Michael Steele is another one who I want to smash my television every time I see this guy. He used to head the Republican National Committee. Now he's a paid whore for MSNBC to bash Republicans. I can't stand these guys. There are very few Democrats that actually do act like Republicans in this way. No matter how bad Democrats are, they stick together.
Right. One of the things Seth and I argue about here, Khalid, is that how you fight back. And I know I'm radical. I'm definitely let's throw down guy. I really am. But I honestly believe the biggest failing we have, the Republican Party, and I consider myself a little more libertarian because I'm pro some left stuff too. But I honestly believe that if you're gonna fight, you got to fight in their ring. If they're calling you a name, if they're calling you an ist or a homophobe or a bigot or whatever they're calling you, you got to just say, yep, I am, but boom, and come right back at them. You can't let the name calling and you can't let the labeling be the stop, because it's a diversion and it diverts from the real issue. And I think so many Republican people or right-leaning people, they just want to do the right thing. I'm not trying to say what they want is the wrong thing. I'm saying they absolutely want to do the right thing, but they don't want to play dirty to get there. And I think it's a formula for failure with the way that politics is constructed today. What do you think?
I agree with that somewhat. I think that just like what Mark Levin said about these Democrats who are tearing up the Constitution and using the law as a means of tyranny. He said, now that they've done it, you have to do it to them, or else it won't stop. Just like with there was a special independent counsel statute that was in place for many, many years. Well, they got rid of it when it started to be used against Democrats. That's when it went away, and now you have a special counsel. But the independent counsel statute was what Bill Clinton was brought up under. They didn't like it when it was done to them. And now that they've opened up the door for everybody's tax returns through all these Supreme Court decisions, well, okay, you've opened that door. Now we're going to go through it, and we want your tax returns. We want to subpoena your people, your housekeepers, your butlers, your drivers, because it won't stop unless you take off the boxing gloves and put on the brass knuckles and fight like they fight. So I agree with you in that respect. And Trump is a smash mouth politician, and I liken his presidency to that construction guy who got the pretty girl that the guy in the button-down suit in the fancy car, he couldn't get her. So he hates the construction guy because he's wondering what she sees in him.
Right.
And that's what these Republicans who could not win elections. And then Trump comes along and he not only wins the election, but he gets a lot of Democrats to cross over, something that they couldn't do with all their white papers and all their doctrinaire conservatism. So that's they can never get over. How did this guy win when we are the smart ones with all the think tanks and all the fancy doctrinaire principles?
Sure. The other thing that I think is a big problem is Republicans don't learn from their losses. And we can use issue 1 as a prime example. If you go back to Obama, and I believe it was the gay marriage thing, when they couldn't get 60, then they changed it down. They changed the percentage down. And that was that whole thing when they had Kucinich flying on the plane and he was voting one way one day and then he landed off the plane, he voted the other way. But it was after it was a proven thing that they changed the law to get the law. Absolutely. And then we look at issue 1, there was nobody in the Republican Party saying, hey, this is what they did to us before. This is the result. You got to vote this way. We just simply didn't learn from, I don't even want to call that a long time past. That's recent past.
Yeah, we don't really have an Ohio voice like a Jim Jordan. Right. I really wish we had a guy in our state house who fought like that guy does for the people in the state, because they're all kind of, laid back and they're all kind of subdued. We don't have that kind of powerful voice. I've been to several of these committee hearings, and there's some people that speak up, but not to the point where they speak to the people. And it was a lot of confusion about issue 1. These ads were intentionally confusing to a lot of people. Some Republicans weren't on board with it because I don't think many of them understood it, but it was basically just confusion, intentional confusion. And there was not enough. We did have some outside money come in. We know that, but there wasn't enough of our people within the state who were out trying to get our people out to pass this bill. We know how the counties are going to vote, and the counties unfortunately turned out. We had some big losses out in Lake County area, which shocked me. Well, we got a return match coming up in November. I want this state to stay red. That's just, and it could, because we know what it looks like on the other side. To the east of us, we have Pennsylvania and New York. And to the west of us, we have Illinois. That should tell you all you need to know.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
And Detroit, Michigan to the north.
Yes.
It's not good. And then we have a city, though, that here in Cleveland that's run by who I consider a fool of a mayor. I mean, we don't do anything right, it seems like, in some of these major cities, especially Cleveland, Cincinnati, and to an extent Columbus. And I don't know how we change that. I mean, there is no changing the way people vote. I don't understand, because people just see the D and that's what they vote for. Yeah. Why in the city of Cleveland do they not see the disaster and violence and everything else that it's become and vote differently? Why are people trained to vote the way that they're voting?
I'll tell you the main thing that the Democrats have going for them, and this nationwide, and that's the media. The media just think about this. No Republican could have gotten reelected or won an election on Biden's economy. Biden has been the most awful elected official I have seen in my lifetime, and I'm sure yours as well. They've done nothing right. They've done nothing right. They got we've had supply chain shortages. Our border is off the hook. We've had inflation. It's been so bad, but the media's job is to elect Democrats. So no matter how bad things are, they'll tell you it's really not that bad, or they won't cover certain things like the border. When Trump was in office, the border was a big issue. Everyone's hair was on fire, and the media was reporting on it every day. Now it's really not on the headlines because people are controlled by this media. They're controlled by the mainstream press. They're told how to think, and they pick a villain out every few years. It's usually a Republican governor. Now it's DeSantis' turn to be the villain because their job is to elect Democrats. So I think that's the main problem with this city is our local press is basically, inept. They write nothing bad about the administration if they can help it. Maybe you have a few columnists here and there. It's up to us to kind of get out to the grassroots folks. The only thing the Democrats have going for them as a party is that they can call the other side racist. They've been playing that card for 50 years. It works because they have no ideas. They have no policies. So they've convinced a lot of these black people in these cities, hey, those guys are racist and vote for us. And they figure one day they're going to get it right. And that day is never going to come.
All right. I'm going to just you kind of brought it up. So I'm going to ask you, why is it that the media and the left want to try to take the African-American community and make them look stupid because make them seem like they don't know how to go get an ID to vote? Why is it that they play on this? They're the racists.
Yes.
They're the ones that are pitting each other against each other. And it's awful. I mean, we live in 2023. You'd think that things would be different. But I am tired of being called a racist because I'm a Republican when I think everybody has the same equal rights and equal opportunity to vote, and everybody should have the same equal rights to do everything. And it seems to me that the left and groups like Antifa are stoking the flames of racism.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're right. Well, I'll tell you this. Booker T. Washington, who I just adore, and if you're not familiar, he was a philanthropist and educator. He founded Tuskegee University, which I attended. And he said over 100 years ago, he said there's a certain group of race problem solvers whose job it is to keep the problems of the Negro before the public. And their problems and grievances before the public. He said they don't want the patient to get well because they will lose their jobs. Now, he said this over 100 years ago. Wow. And it's more true now than it was then. Because it is impossible for us to do well and the Democrats to do well. The worse we do, the better they do. Those two things are mutually exclusive. And it is their job to make sure there's chaos because that's how they get elected. So they are the arsonist and the firefighter. During the Summer of Love riots, they were LeBron James and other Democrats and Kamala Harris were pushing voter registration. That is the perfect time when there's chaos for them to say, hey, vote for us, even though they're the arsonist. So their whole job is to keep us angry, confused, and because they don't have respect for us. They think we cannot make it without them, like we're special needs people. So that's how they treat us. We don't have ID. We don't have technology. We can't really do this or we can't do that without them. People who have no respect for you treat you as if you're a quote unquote special needs person. And they don't have respect for us. George Bush said it years ago. It's the bigotry, soft bigotry of low expectations. And the left has low expectations of Black people. And they tell us every day in one way or another, but we don't pick up on it because they're so busy pointing at the other side and saying they're the racists, even though I know you can't turn on a computer and get an ID.
And I blame the media for that too. I think you're right. I think that's the narrative that's being pushed, and it needs to stop. I mean, that's what needs to stop. If we want to ever bring people together, that's the kind of crap that needs to stop. And I don't know.
It does.
There's
It's
too much
media.
money though there's too much money in it to make it stop. That's the real problem.
Yeah, people like Al Sharpton have made a living off of racism.
Well,
And that's kind of sad.
He's the guy that Booker T. Washington was talking about. These are the guys who are making a living off of this. Al Sharpton makes about $2 million a year. Half of that is hair care products. But either way, but these guys, they make a living off of this stuff. It is up to them to deliver us to the Democrat Party. And we cannot do well unless, they cannot do well unless we're doing poorly. That is a fact. They get rich off of us. There are so many mayors over the last decade, and I've written articles about them, who have gone to jail for corruption, for having fake charities and funneling money to their cronies. From Ray Nagin in New Orleans to Rich Cannon in Charlotte, to Tony Mack in Newark, and to Kwame Kilpatrick, and to Karen Brown, Congresswoman, Chaka Fattah. It's been so many of them. Catherine Pratt in D.C. They're crooks. They're crooks, and their job is to stay in power, to keep people not doing well so they can do well. They don't have any expectation that we can help ourselves, which is where the real racism is. People who respect you will give you a difficult task to do because they believe that you can do it. Somebody who thinks you're not capable will give you a 2+2 math test and give you an A on it.
That's so true. Wow. That's very true. Yeah, it's and I don't want to turn this into a whole racial thing, but the thing that always confuses me, I guess, and especially in 2023, where are the voices, and they don't have to be famous voices, but just more of an abundance of voices that would be out there saying, this is bullshit. Stop making this community look like this. Stop with the World Star. Stop with the beatings in the street for fun. There's not enough voices that are coming. There's no white voices doing it because, God forbid, you say, hey, you shouldn't beat somebody to death in the street. Then you're automatically a racist for picking on the black community. But I'm always stunned that there's no black voices. And I do mean, I know there are, but I mean, I'm always stunned that there's not doctors and lawyers and successful people coming out and saying, this isn't how we want to be represented. We want to be represented like reasonable human beings.
Well, I'll tell you, the people that I despise the most are some of these mayors. For instance, the mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, he is sharp as a bowling ball. This guy, you had a mob tear up a store in Chicago a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes out, and when someone said it was a mob action, or it was, we can't call them little Al Capones. We got to be careful when we talk about the children. Even though the definition of a mob is definitely exactly what they were doing. They were looting and tearing up the store. So we have people like him who are soft. And a lot of the people who are professionals that you mentioned, they're afraid. Because I'm going to tell you, they will say these things in private, but they will never say them publicly. I know for a fact there are people who will say things while they're sitting around amongst each other, but they don't want to say them in front of you because they're embarrassed. And that's because they're cowards. I will say on the radio what I'll say, and I'll say it in private. I'll say it in public. Call me all the names you want. I actually love hate mail, actually. I actually wish I had more of it. And when I get on the radio, and hopefully I'll get more, I'm not afraid of your little silly names because I'm out here talking to kids all the time, trying to keep them out of the jail. I was a corrections officer. I've been a reading tutor. I'm out there in these schools talking to kids, trying to keep them out of the system. So you can say whatever you want, but I'm out here doing the work. There are people who will say things privately, but they will not say them publicly, and they're cowards. There's a few of us out here who have national platforms, like Jason Whitlock is a huge guy on Fearless, huge platform. But guess what? You couldn't put 4 or 5 guys like him in a room right now on a national scene who are not mainstream conservative voices.
Right. And even Whitlock got pushed over to the Blaze because he couldn't stay on, he couldn't voice his opinion without getting YouTube bans and everything else. He had to go to the Blaze in order to speak. Yeah. It's crazy.
Thank God for conservative media.
Yes.
Because without that, we wouldn't have a voice. I wouldn't have a voice. I wouldn't be on WHK. But guess what? We're going to get bigger. I'm working with some people now who are going to try to raise our profile. I have some events and things I'm going to do. I am going to try to make an impact in my city. because I know that the people who are there they're incapable of it. They're not truth tellers. They're incapable of it. And everything that they do is they have a very soft way of approaching things. I want to have some different ideas represented. Since City of Cleveland doesn't have a mainstream or main conservative voice, there are some closet Republicans in city council, but I am not going to be in the closet. I'm coming out of the closet, not in the literal sense, but
nice.
You got to get Polensik on your side. I love Mike Polensik. He's a good guy. He's an old school Democrat. He's not one of these new guys. He's an old school, down to earth kind of guy, and I like that dude. But all right, we're out of time, unfortunately, Khalid. But tell everybody where they can listen to you and where they can find your website.
Okay, so you can follow me on social media, Khalid Namar on Facebook, Khalid Namar on X, formerly known as Twitter, and on WHK Rising Tides Sunday nights at 9 o'clock. Sunday nights at 9 o'clock, WHK 1420 The Answer. That's where I am. Check me out.
And if we can help at all with your events coming up, let me know, and we'll put you on again. We'll talk about your events and anything I can do to help. Please let me know.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me, and I love to come back. I love your program, and it's been a blast. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. I'll see you Sunday night, God willing.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, Chris. Take care.
Take care, bud.
Khalid Namar, he's a good man. He's a very good man. I like talking to him. I enjoy seeing him on Sunday nights. Yeah, he's good.
I'm gonna have to find me a way to tune in because I honestly don't have an AM radio anywhere, but it's online, right? It's online.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll be tuning in online,
and
that'll be great. So
Sunday nights, 9 o'clock. Check him out, and then we'll keep posted if he's got events coming up. I'd love to help out. So
and let's just have him back on sometime. I mean, he makes great points. We could do 2 hours with him and it'd be great.
I know. It's unfortunate. Like he's had to come on at like 5:30. Yeah, I'd like to get him on earlier so we have more time. But
maybe we'll do a special some night. We'll just do a special at like 7 o'clock at night on like Odyssey or something.
Yeah, we'll find time to do something good with him.
Yeah.
All right. Time to wrap things up. Appreciate it, Chris, tonight. Much appreciated. God willing, we'll talk to you again on Monday. Hopefully talking to Yellow Brick Road Auctions. Melissa, owner of yellowbrickroadauction.com.
Can't wait.
We got a Barbie thing going on, and we'll have some other stuff. I'm sure we'll have a good time.
Sounds like a plan.
Have a great rest of the week. Be safe. We'll talk to you later.
All right. See ya.
Yep.